Hi everyone, it's the EnglishSimmer here, and today we're going over a cheeky little update that dropped for The Sims 4 yesterday. So this is their monthly patch update. Obviously fixed a couple of bugs, but also introduced a couple of new things. Because if you missed the news, The Sims 4 base game is going free for everyone to play on both PC and Mac and console on October the 18th. If you already own the base game, you can pick up the Desert Looks kit for free as a little thank you, and also hey, we would sell this for £5 anyway, so here you go, have Desert Looks. You can claim that until October the 17th. And basically with The Sims 4 now becoming free to play, obviously there's gonna be a lot of new players with the game who are picking it up really for the first time, even though it's been out for 8 years. And so this update is kind of focused on that, introducing people to the game, making it slightly easier, but there are also a couple of objects that I know you lot are gonna like to see anyway. And I myself am very interested in them because we all know that I love a good tattoo. I eventually want to get a gaming sleeve of my favorite games and tattoos that relate to them, and a cow plant is almost, if not the top of that list when it comes to gaming tattoos that I want. So we're gonna check them out, but before we do, I have started a new game and little Emily is here. If you played The Sims Mobile, then Emily basically works for, I think it's called Llama Zoom. I should know, I've played that game. She's basically like a tutorial type person who sets you up in The Sims Mobile, and now she's over in The Sims 4 to help us over here. Welcome to Create a Sim Mode. My name is Emily. Choose to create a Sim story and take a personality quiz and gain a head start on Sim skills, or you can customize a Sim from scratch. If you are like me and you have been playing this game since 2014, you can go into your game options and you can go into tutorial and tips. You can actually untick enable guidance system, and that means that Emily won't appear. You can just play your game the way that you are used to playing your game. You can also reset the tutorial, and you also have the icon removal, which I will probably also get rid of. Lessons are also updated. These are basically, again, kind of a tutorial type thing, but one that you go into in more depth. They basically teach you lessons about The Sims 4. These have had a redesign, and they basically just give hints and tips to playing the game, how to get the most out of it, what things mean. I actually don't have any other packs installed right now, but there are also lessons for all of the packs, so they've pretty much done a whole overhaul on this. And then there is also technical support, which if you open up technical support, I actually really like this. I have said recently, with all the bugs that we have in The Sims 4 right now, it's really hard to keep up with specific threads. I don't really know how Answers HQ works. I'm not the most tech literate person, and so when I have an issue with my game, my first instinct isn't to go over to EAHQ, even though it should be. And I actually really like this. It directs you kind of where you need to be. You can search for keywords, you can select your platform. I hope that this is going to make stuff easier to report and to also keep tabs on things that are going wrong in people's games. So I think this is a really welcome thing. Fun little fact though, if you go to hairstyles, Emily's hairstyle is included. I can see this being really cute if you have some form of an artsy sim. It's this very messy rushed bun. You have a pencil holding it all together with some clips in either side. You got this little triangle one, and also a pen behind the ear. And then if we head on over to tattoos, this is where it's gonna test my knowledge. So we have 2 forearm tattoos. So there's this one right here, which is a very simple design plumbob. This is pretty much the plum bob that I and also thousands of other simmers around the world have on our bodies. And then it's also got like little stars around it. Comes in a number of different colors. So you got some like oranges, pinks, purples, a rainbow one. Then you have the red, the green, a classic. You have a little flirty one, kind of like this frosted one, which is really cool. And then also a gold one. I kind of wish that there was a variant that just had like line work, but that's down to personal preference. And then we have this one, which is like a trio of plum bobs. This isn't my most favorite, although I do really love, I hate how you keep turning when I put this on. Can you just like, why? Why are they doing that? Whoa, that one's, I don't know why, but that one, that last swatch just made my eyes go so funky. It looks like if I put 3D glasses on, it would be jumping out of the page, like watching Avatar all over again. Then we have this sick, I love this so flipping much. It is a cow plant, but also it has swallowed a gnome, which this really hits home for me because if you remember The Sims Sparked, I was part of Team Gnome. And then I became part of Team Cowplant. So I feel like this is made for me, even though I know it definitely wasn't. However, this one I honestly think is even more sick. This is like the skull. If you know me, you will know that eventually when I own my own place, I want my own cursed wall of video game props, and I definitely want a cowplant skull. You know how like people have those like, I don't know, bull skulls? Are they bulls? I want one, but a cowplant. I just think it would be so sick. I absolutely adore this tattoo. As if I needed any more inspiration to get a cowplant tattoo at some point in my life. And finally, we have this upper back tattoo on the shoulder blades. Very sort of traditional tattoo. You've got roses surrounding a green plum bob. The roses just come in different colors. There is also another gay variant because it's The Sims. Why wouldn't there be? Sims 4 tattoos, the gay agenda. Also, if you go onto the gallery, it doesn't like connect straight away. My gallery hadn't been connecting straight away for like months upon months. I mean, it's kind of annoying that you constantly like have to reconnect, but I guess I don't always use the gallery, so it adds like what, like 2 seconds onto it loading. Hopefully it means that the gallery isn't going to break as much as it does. Moving myself down here because we also have a new trait as well, because just like Georgia from Love Island, your Sims can too be loyal, mate. Loyal Sims value their relationships and fully commit to them, whether they are friendships, romance, or even work. They avoid lying and cheating because their loved one's trust is very important to them. I did see a couple of people like asking like, hey, now that we have a loyal trait, where is the unloyal trait? Honestly, isn't that just like non-committal? These Sims become tense after a while in the same job or relationship. These icons have also been slightly updated, so they still have like all the essence of the old ones. I think they may have just like detailed it a little bit more. And Emily is basically like saying like, hey, these are your starter homes. These are where your households will be able to afford, where they'll be able to live straight away without you building. I will say, if she turns up with her little llama zoom van, it's not as creepy as the iconic Sims 3 ice cream van, I have to say. Like, I know she's looking like the call me maybe girl. It's in the eyes, isn't it? I don't know what it is about these Sims 4 models, but they're all looking dead behind the eyes, but also with far too much enthusiasm. Ooh, but if you do a quick tour of the basic controls, you receive a special gift. Press WASD. Hey, I never do that, but I do left click with my camera and hold right click. This doesn't really work when you're playing with Sims 3 controls and not Sims 4 controls. And then you get 5,000 simoleons to get you started. That's actually a fair bit of money when you're starting out in The Sims 4. Also, you didn't even need to do that. You could have just clicked all of the next tips and got a cheeky, easy 5k. And that 5k will help us out because if we go to miscellaneous electronics, we can actually see the perfect perfect plumb bob ceiling fan. It's looking like a 3D sort of glass plumb bob. Honestly, it reminds me of The Sims Medieval plumb bob, especially with like the gold. I'm also getting like Sims 3 energy. It actually looks pretty classy for a plumb bob. I'm not saying I would have it in my home. I like just the black one. And then if you go into live mode, you can turn this on and it will actually start spinning once you're playing the game. I unfortunately don't have The Sims 4 updated on my PS5 right now, but there is actually some updates to the console UI scaling, which I am so happy about. I think accessibility was such a big issue when it came to The Sims 4 on console, especially for like people who play in like higher resolutions on like big TVs. Like, whilst yes, you have all this space to play, the UI wasn't scalable, so it meant that you were left with like a really tiny UI, and it was actually quite difficult to read. So you can open your game options, go to accessibility, and you can move the slider to your preferred size. Before adjusting UI scaling settings, we recommend ensuring you've calibrated your system and your TV and monitor beforehand. Instructions on how to do that. It also gives you instructions on how to do that on Xbox. So glad that that's now finally a thing on console, because it's been feedback that I've given for console in the past. And I only play on like a monitor, but sometimes I like want to sit in bed and play The Sims, and it makes it like really difficult to read. Also, there are, as usual, a ton of bug fixes. I'm not going to go through every single one of these, but I will link it down below in case you want to check it out. But siblings can attend prom together, but now they only have friends. So thankfully, hopefully, no romantic relationships between siblings. There's quite a lot to do with werewolves as well. And there we go. That pretty much sums up the update from yesterday. Like I said, this is basically in preparation for onboarding new players when the base game does go free next week. Reminder to everyone, there is a live stream, twitch.tv/The Sims at 6 p.m. on Tuesday the 18th when it goes free. There will be a live stream alongside it. It's called Behind the Sims Summit, where fingers crossed they're going to announce some pretty cool things. We don't have a roadmap yet for this season, so we're thinking like maybe that could be included. There has been talk of the future of the Sims franchise. I personally think that the Sims 4 going base game does actually have hints to what could be planned for the future of the franchise. I actually have a video all about that I will link both in the description below and at the end of this video. But I hope this video was helpful. If you need any other questions answered, please do not hesitate to leave them in the comments down below. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and I will speak to you all in my next one. Bye now.